Hi, I'm Sally Edwards, and I'm starting today to put together a video diary of a project that's very, very close to my heart that I'm working on and have been working on for about the last 10 months. Um, I'm writing my first book. It's a novella, and it all started just under a year ago when I was volunteering for a lesbian arts festival, looking at disability access issues. And because of my role in that, I was asked if I would sit on a panel with a woman that was entering a video film into the festival, into the film festival side of the whole thing. She also was a disabled lesbian, and it was called Butch Losses. So about a month or two before the festival, we began talking and building up a friendship and talking about how we were going to approach the panel and what was going to happen. And as a consequence of that, discussions and thoughts, and afterwards it became a real issue to me, and I'm very apparent that there was very little media coverage in any form of art form out there representing disabled lesbians or disabled gay people, full stop. I was very moved by the original video called Butch Losses. It stirred up a lot of things for me. I spent a lot of time agreeing and shouting out, saying, yes, that's how I feel. Yes, I've been through that kind of situation. And it made me reflect on what media is out there representing us. And it just became very obvious that there was very little out there. So the festival happened, and I again became more and more passionate about it. As a part of the discussions I was having with the filmmaker, I remembered watching over the last couple of years a series of documentaries on British TV, which was representing disabled people and their relationships. And again, that made me remember how I reacted to those programs and how I felt that gay people were not represented, that we were a minority in a minority group, that we weren't talked about, and I felt that that particular documentary showed disabled people in regards to their relationships in a really bad way, and this made me angry. So this fueled my passion to do something about it even more when I remembered that. Initially, I got carried away and thought to myself, "Oh, I'll make a short film. I'll get in touch with the TV channel, and I'll bite back, and I'll put a good representation out there on TV, onto screen." And so started to write a script. But then it became obvious that that was probably too much of a big project to go for initially, and I was showing a few people some of the stuff that I was writing, and they felt that it was more like a book. It was reading more like a book. So that's how it's all changed. Since coming back from the festival, I've been working on the storyline, and I'm working on that, getting that together. And I just wanted to respond in a similar way to the Butch Losses film, by doing this film and doing this video diary. Any sort of thoughts and feelings as a result of watching that's come up, I want to be able to discuss with you, and get off my chest, so to speak. And I would very much appreciate it and welcome you sort of filling in any kind of comments afterwards and giving me feedback and your thoughts and feelings and ideas that maybe I can discuss in future episodes. I also want to use this as a platform to promote my book, to give you updates on its progress. The first draft is now currently written. I've been to a workshop for authors and got some very good feedback and advice about what to do next. So my book is currently in the hands of a couple of beta readers, and I'm waiting on some feedback from them. I've also lined up an editor who's prepared to take the book on. So I guess my next port of call really is trying to get it published. I'm thinking about initially going down the self-publishing route and getting it on Amazon, but ideally I'd like hard copies as well. So that's an area, that's where I'm at really at the moment, and that's an area that really scares me. But initially I wanted to talk about my response to the Butch Losses film to begin with, and then talk through and update you on the process of what I'm now doing with it. My first response to hearing about Butch Losses and then consequently seeing it was, thank God somebody's talking about this. Because like I said, there's been no representation out there. There's been nobody doing anything like this that I've become aware of. And I've had a lifetime of feeling very, very isolated. So it's nice to know that there's somebody out there that's got the guts to actually go on record and go on camera and talk about their own personal issues, which, let's face it, talking about sexuality and sexual identity and, without being rude, the act of having sex in terms of being a disabled person as well is a very difficult issue to discuss in public, but it's out there and it needs to be talked about. So my initial response was, thank you for having the guts to do it. And like I mentioned before, the things that were being said, situations, scenarios, feelings that were discussed, I was saying, yes, yeah, I feel like that. I've been in that situation. Yeah, I know exactly what that means. Some things that were said stirred up painful memories, made me feel angry, because I could really relate to the other things. The way that the filmmaker put herself across as well was also quite light-hearted, and it made me giggle. It was a very human approach to getting across a very, very serious issue. And it just resonated with me on such a level. So yeah, so that's me. That's what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how it all started. So I'll be in touch again in the next week. I'm hoping by then I will have some feedback back from my beta readers. I will have gone through the process of re-editing it myself as a consequence of their feedback, and will have gotten it out to the editor, but I'll keep you posted. I'd like to invite you to respond to this initial film. Give me some feedback, comments, stories of your own, feelings of your own, questions that you'd like to put to me, anything to set up a dialogue, because I know there's people out there, there's other disabled lesbians out there that need to be heard, need a voice, and I want you to know that it's okay. You know, we are here, and the filmmaker of the original film was a big revelation for me, and I hope we can maybe start a dialogue for many other people. I know there are online organisations out there for disabled lesbians, but in my experience I feel that those organisations are not very active. So I'd like to maybe stir that up and just get people talking, sharing ideas, sharing feelings, and yeah, let's get a bigger profile out there. So that's it for the first blog. Please leave me some feedback, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.